Our intention is that you will learn a few things about yoga that are maybe new to you. And we especially want you to learn that anyone can do yoga. I have been fortunate enough to be practice yoga for over 20 years. I'm a believer in the benefits. And I hear a lot of people say to me, oh, I can't do it. I can't do yoga. I'm too stiff, or my balance is terrible. And I want you, if you learn anything today, is that anyone can do yoga. I am delighted that we have Aminta St. Onge here with us today. She's a very experienced yoga therapist. She has a lot of certifications and trainings, including a recent master's degree in yoga therapy from Maryland University of Integrative Health. She has over 17 years of experience in working with seniors and individuals with Parkinson's and their caregivers. She is the owner of Yoga Vibes. Did I say that right? Okay. And she also does a lot of her classes through the support of the Parkinson's Association, and she will tell you a little bit more about that. And also, she, in 2022, she developed a program called Yoga Tools for Parkinson's Caregivers. And her goal was to kind of bring these caregivers together in a support group atmosphere and also teach them some tools through yoga that they could use to help manage their stress. And I can tell you, I know that she has a following and she has created a community amongst her students. And it's really wonderful to see. So with that, we'll go ahead and get started.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I am a yoga therapist. And what I have done since 2008, I was very, very passionate about working with the senior community. And so that's where I began. And then in 2013, I got a call and just saying, would you be interested in working with individuals who have Parkinson's? And I was excited, and then I was really scared. So I said yes, and then I got nervous. And so I did a little more research and everything else, and then talked to different people. And what I learned is the Parkinson's Association of the Carolinas offer these classes, but we started with one class a week. And what has happened since then is now we offer like 10 classes a week. So it has grown. And what I've learned and what I've been able to witness doing what I do is to see the instant benefit to many of the individuals that come to the class. And in essence, you get to form your own little community as well. So there is a social aspect of it that's incredibly positive, and it is supportive for all the individuals that are participating. So I teach all different tools. The goal is to be able to teach tools that individuals can utilize, whether they're having anxiety, depression. Also, if you're having, sometimes I'll get individuals who say, help me with my freezing. I'm not a physical therapist, and I like to say that from the beginning. However, I have many friends who are physical therapists, and I'll give you one of their names. And they've taught me tricks. So it's really nice because they've been able to tell me, you know what, Aminta, what you're doing that's good. And I think that if you continue to do this, that works. So what I've done is I've created therapeutic yoga classes that are specific for Parkinson's symptoms. So when you come in, I ask everybody, they fill out this little questionnaire for me, but then I talk to them one-on-one, and I'm like, what would you like out of this experience? And some of them say, I'm having a hard time with my voice. And so then all of a sudden, okay, cool. We add that, I get some yoga tools and we work on voice. I have individuals that'll say, just to be blunt, I have constipation, and that's an issue. Okay, we can figure out how to work on that. So the thing that I've been able to do is just tweak a class to the point where it addresses a lot of the symptoms associated with Parkinson's. in addition to that, I like to tell all of my students and their caregivers, whomever comes, is that we can't blame Parkinson's for everything. Sometimes it's birthdays. And when I say birthdays, it's kind of like what I did 10 years ago is not what I can do now. And you know what? It's okay. And so addressing these things, there's the component of being able to just, and if you come to my class, it's one of the words I say the most, is just breathe. Just simply breathe. And I believe that when it comes to Parkinson's, one of the things that I would believe is a challenge is you can plan your day, and then all of a sudden the medication might be working wonky that day. And for some reason, the body's not processing things. And so what do you do when that happens? Well, you start to breathe. You come back to, as I've told my students, it takes 5 intentional breaths, full inhales, long exhales. And when you do this, the nervous system, your PNS, parasympathetic nervous system, it actually begins to be impacted. So it may not take away that tremor. It may not keep you from freezing, but it's going to take that additional component of anxiety and stress associated with what you're dealing with. And it's going to actually help you manage it, as opposed to, I call it getting on the hamster wheel. So if I'm freezing here in my head, I could be telling the story of, I can't believe this is happening to me, and why is it happening right now? This is the first time, and there goes the narrative that we create. However, if all of a sudden I'm freezing, and this is per a lot of my students, I start breathing, I'm like, okay, just let yourself freeze right now and breathe. Then all of a sudden they find that they're able to manage the freezing better. They can accept it, let it do what it needs to do, and do what they can, which is applying some of the skills that they've learned in our yoga classes, which are, I always talk about yoga tools. So, these are the things that we do work on.
And as far as that's a great example with the freezing, but what about if it's not a Parkinson's person? They're kind of just having a day where they're just really stressed. And they can use the same thing to, okay, I'm really stressed.
Absolutely. And that's the thing that you've been doing this for 20 plus years. And I'm here to tell you that all age groups benefit from this type of thing because there's so much stress. There's so much anxiety. And, it can get crazy just around you. So imagine at the end of the day, you may not have done a lot, but you're just wiped out. That's the mental stress. That's the mental stress that has taken that burden and just applied it to your 100% whole person. So what you want to try to do is when you start noticing those things is, what am I doing that's causing this? And it can be more of a mental type of thing that we're fully vested in a narrative that we've created about something that either has already happened or something that hasn't even happened. So when we start to apply these tools, our brain has the ability, I call it, and I believe maybe not you, understand because you're very young, but everybody, I call it the Control-Alt-Delete. Anybody remember that? When you see the little, when you're looking at your computer and things are just spinning and nothing's happening, that's that narrative that we create. But if we start to apply that breathing or just the mindfulness of just sitting here and saying, okay, even if it's just a little thing of, you've got this, we can do this, then all of a sudden your brain, you're not draining it the way that you are when you're worrying it. And so I want you to think in terms of how often do we look at our phone to see if the battery is charged or not, or how much we have left on the battery. Well, my question to you is, how often do we check to see how we're doing, where our energy is? So how often are we, when we have that phone, we go in and we plug it in as soon as we can because we want to make sure that we're able to answer all our calls. And how often are we sitting down to gather ourselves to just take a moment? So these are the things that we openly discuss. Like I said, there might be one or two subjects that are off the table or that we haven't addressed before, but pretty much if you're having trouble putting your shoes on because the toes are curling up, and this again, all of a sudden, then what can I do? Then we work with feet. Then we roll feet in our class. So
that's good. And they say it's impossible to be anxious when you're focusing on your breath.
Exactly. What you've done is you have plugged into the wall and you're charging your battery. The brain is such that it's incredible, but to our own detriment. We can think about 800 things at one time, and so we are just taking all the juice out. We're just totally draining our battery. But when we can come back to that one breath, then we're being mindful. We're in the present moment, and we're dealing with whatever's happening right there that minute. Even if it's a panic attack, even if it's a tremor, or it's just a sad day.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
So would you guys be interested in trying what I call a 3-part breath?
Yes.
Okay. This 3-part breath is just to create awareness to your body. If you were to look up the word what yoga is, you're going to see it's a connection between mind and body. This, I believe, to be one of the biggest concerns, at least from my perspective, that all of us are disconnected to our bodies. We're here, but we're not really paying attention to what's going on with the rest of us. So what I want you to do, 3-part breath, is we'll take 3 sips of breath, and we're going to notice where the breath is traveling. Then when we get to the exhale is going to be nice and long, and you want that exhale to be as long as possible. So just to start off, I want everybody just place their hands right down their belly. And I want you to pretend that you're you're pouring water into a glass. We want the breath to come all the way down. So when we take our first sip, we're going to puff our belly out so that we can take that breath down. So let's all just take a sip of breath and feel the belly as it expands. Now you're going to take another sip, and I want you to move your hands to your ribs. And here comes our other sip. Notice how the ribs separate. And then you're going to place your hand right here. And this is when we fill that glass up to the rim. And now, as long as you can, exhale and just let that breath gently come out without totally just blowing it out in 2 seconds. And then let's do that again. And we can put our hands anywhere you want to, because now you know where the breath is traveling. So take a sip, another sip, pause, and now exhale gently and let it go. Doing this again, take another sip, belly, another sip, ribs, another sip, upper chest, pause, exhale, slowly let it go. And do 2 more rounds. So again, sip, 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 pause, and then gently exhale, let it go. And last one, this way, take a sip, sip, another sip, pause, and then gently let that breath go. And it takes 5 breaths for our nervous system to begin to kind of find its voice of reason. So we just practice 5 breaths. And it's almost, at least for me, when I practice this and I'm intentional, you can almost feel it happen. It's kind of like, okay, I'm right here. And all of a sudden, the narrative that was causing and creating that anxiety is something that I always say, hit mute. That's what I tell myself, just hit mute. Just hit, don't listen because that's just not a nice voice that we're using right now. So again, there's a lot of internal awareness. And when we do the placing of the hands, then all of a sudden you start to notice more about your body. And now you also have the component, the tactile component. which is also very soothing, very relaxing. And that is something that we don't even realize that we have the ability to create within ourselves. We have access to it. But again, we've just kind of lost that connection to the body.
And so that's just a good thing that's always there that you can use to reset. And it also can help you prepare. Like if your loved one is having a really difficult day and you've got a lot on you and things that you need to get done that day, and you're almost feeling like your patience is kind of at the end, you can stop and just do that and say, okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Reset.
What I have with my caregivers, we have something that we call Take 5. And Take 5 is where they take 5 breaths, but they've created a space in their house, even if it's just looking out a window or looking at a picture of a grandchild, and they take 5. And that's where they find their space before they have that impulsive reaction that sometimes happens when we're at our wit's end. And I think that's the biggest thing when on a daily basis, sometimes we all have that knee-jerk reaction. We want to just kind of say something, and we have to reel it back in. Well, with my caregivers and even with my students, the one thing that Take 5, because I've given it to them too, is the opportunity to say, I am in control. And that is empowering. Mm-hmm. So if you have a tremor that's out here and it's doing this and it's exacerbated, okay, fine. Parkinson's, you can have that, but the rest of me is here. And I can do my breathing while that's going on. Mm-hmm. I can, continue to do this, but I'm not going to let you totally dominate that particular situation, that particular moment.
And I think when we do this and it calms us down, the effects of it your loved ones feel it, and I think it really does change the whole mood.
Absolutely, it can because as a caregiver myself, because my 82-year-old mother lives with me, she has MCI, but she does not have Parkinson's. She's just a very vibrant, resilient 82-year-old. But I promise you, she practices her breathing with me because
together.
And then no, she's practicing it because I drove her crazy for something. Okay. She's watching, I think. But the thing about it is that, and I see her and I'm like, oh, ouch. I need to back off.
Oh,
so those are the little signals that we sometimes can give each other. Like, I need 5. I'll be right back. I just need 5. And we might need 5 and it has absolutely nothing to do with your person. Mm-hmm. It might just be that you got a call over here and someone just used your credit card and you're trying to figure that out, but someone needs a glass of water. So your Take 5 has absolutely nothing to do with your person. It has to do with something else. And the Take 5 comes in handy.
And it's free.
And it's free, absolutely. That's why I always tell them, no copay on this one. Anything that you want me to?
No, I love the breathing exercise. Mm-hmm. Thank you. And you call that 3-part breath?
Yeah, 3-part breath. Okay. And you want to, and here's the thing, this is not intended to be stressful, because some people will say, well, I don't feel this. That's okay, don't. Just focus on the breath. Just take 3 sips. Don't worry about whether this side went out or it. Just soothe yourself, hand on the body, take the breaths, and then let it happen, because this is not intended to stress you out or add something to your list of I'm not sure how to do. It's not intended for that. I believe that when it comes to the yoga tools that I like to bring up, things like the breathing. Yes, I have a question.
Yeah, I do actually. Yeah. Why 3 parts instead of one big inhale and one big exhale? Just curious.
There are different breathing techniques. If you were to look it up, you'd come up with like number. But for this reason is to reel you in so that you can really start zoning in on my body right here this minute. So you are being forced. I don't like to say forced, but you're having to redirect your thoughts, and you're having to connect based on the 3-part breathing. You're actually like, oh, okay, wait a minute. Oh, wait, I need to do this. As opposed to that big, long breath. Sometimes that can be the breath that we need to just kind of let a whole bunch of stuff out. But when we're talking about mindfully, engaging the nervous system for this particular moment, then you're reeling yourself back in. But I believe that it's more about the tactile portion. It's more about redirecting the brain so that now we're here.
I also think it's to help get that slow, deep breath, because when we're anxious, we tend to have very shallow breathing, and we're not getting the full benefit. Our bodies work better if we can get some nice, big, deep breaths. So,
and it's very calming. The brain is amazing, and the brain is able to, when you have a breathing practice in place, a lot of different things happen. And one of them is that we're able to kind of calm things down, kind of let everything go into their little department and do what they're supposed to do, as opposed to all of them coming and just crashing in the middle. I was reading something where it was talking about the resilience and helping us with memory issues, and helping us with focus. And again, this can be for a 40-year-old, and it can be for an 80-year-old. And one of the things that it talked about was that it helps reduce the thinning of the prefrontal cortex.
oh,
Okay, so the breathing, there's some real stuff that's really amazing with the research that's out there right now to show you how these type of things are impacting our body in a very holistic way. It's a different approach. Keep doing everything that your doctor says to do. Throw this in there and see how it changes. See how it can impact you, especially with stress.
It was a learning experience for me, because the first time you said breathe in, take a sip, I took too big of a sip. And then I was like, what do I do?
all your air was in.
Over the period of the 5, I learned to work it out.
Good.
And be mindful of, just 1/3, 1/3, 1/3.
Yeah. And that's how it happens. That's why I don't want individuals to, this is not, you're not going to get like a report card at the end of it saying, okay, well, you only got 2/3 of it, so I'm not sure if this is going to be a good, that's not what that's about. All of a sudden you became aware, and then you self-regulated. This is that steering wheel that I'm telling you, grab it back, because, your diagnosis doesn't necessarily own it. It may tug at it a bit, but you don't have to forfeit it.
Or your stress.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever it might be.
Exactly. So another thing I wanted to do, if it's okay with you, you can do, since you practice yoga. It's like, oh, you didn't tell me this.
No, you did not.
So I'll give you an option. You can do this seated or you can do this standing.
Okay.
Because I want everybody to note something that's very important. I have people that practice yoga in their beds.
Yeah.
Okay. And I actually had one person, she was a doll, and she was having a very cranky day. And when I showed up at her house, the person that was taking care of her at the time said she doesn't want to do it. And I said, can I talk to her? And so I went and she was sure. So she was in bed and she had pulled the blankets all the way over her head. And I said, Mary Frances, how you doing? Fine. And I was like, you don't want to do yoga? No. I said, okay. Can I just sit here with you? And then all of a sudden I started the breathing.
Oh.
And I made it audible. And she goes, oh, here we go with that breathing thing again. And she pulls her blankets down. And the next thing you know, she's doing ankle circles. She's working with her feet and with her hands and moving. So it's, it's a different way to also wake up. We also get brain fog. So that's another way of doing this stuff. But I'm fortunate to have these type of stories because of the number of years that I've done this. But I'm grateful for each one. But we're going to do something right now.
Let's do it seated since we talked about chair yoga.
Okay.
Is that okay?
She's checking it.
Yeah. Do I need some space?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So what we're going to do is I want you, everybody, wherever you are, seated, I want you, if you're able, I want you to place your feet onto the floor. And then what I want you to do,
a different chair.
No, we're good. We're good. Okay, so you're sitting up nice and tall. I want you just to lean forward a little bit. And when you feel your sits bones kind of come up a little bit, I want you to pause for a moment. Now bring yourself back. And as soon as you feel your sits bones connect, stop. Then I want you to take your shoulders and line them up with those hips. And then take a deep breath in, just a deep breath in, slow breath out. And then go ahead and keep your left hand on your chair, your lap, wherever you'd like. And we're just going to lift up. We're just going to lift up this right arm. So you're lifting up that right arm. And I'm going to do modifications.
Oh, we're backwards.
I'm sorry, I mirror people.
I'm mirror.
Okay, so
with you.
So we're here, and I'm going to modify, and I'm going to say I have shoulder issues, so I'm just going to put my hand here. All right. So now I'm going to tell you to keep your hands up here, and then you're just going to lift that hand up, and you're just going to bring it over. And in the meantime, I'm going to lift up my elbow. So there's a modification there for someone who may have some trouble with their shoulders, and I'm going to exhale, bring it back. So now let's all go ahead. We're going to bring it back, and then we're going to inhale, bring it up. And then we're going to exhale, take it over. And then we're going to bring it back. And then we're going to release. Let's do one more. Inhale, bring it up. And then exhale, take it over. And now, while you sit here, I want you to just press that right hip onto your chair. See if you can get a little bit of a deeper stretch. Take an inhale and an exhale. And then gently bring it back. Good. So now just taking it to the other side. Remembering sides are different. They just really are. So we have to treat each side specific to its needs. So here again, we're going to take this left arm up. And then we're just going to take it over. And again, just taking it over, over, over. And then exhale. Feel that exhale. Bring it back in. And then we're going to inhale. Bring it back up. And then exhale, bring it back. Three's a charm. So this is our last one up here. You're going to reach up, and then you're just going to take it over, over, over. Press your left hip down. See if you can make it a deeper stretch. Breathe. And then gently bring it back. So something as simple as those little side body lifts, a lot of times people will say, I don't have a whole hour. I don't have a whole 30 minutes. Okay, that's fine. But do you have 3 minutes so that you can just kind of break your practice up throughout the day? And then that is where you start to engage a little bit. And what you'll realize is that those 3 minutes turn into 5. And 5, there's your take 5. There's your take 5. So again, that simple movement. And we were both seated. Everybody in here is seated. And the main thing that you want to think about when you're doing this is that you get to define what it looks like in your body. That is the most important thing. That is my favorite thing about yoga. So we don't have to look like the models on the magazines. I hear there's only 3% and out of the whole world look like that or can do the things they do. So real people like us, we're going to get to define it because we don't know if we have a hip replacement, a knee replacement. We don't know. And so we have to be cognizant, and that's where the mindfulness comes in. That's where we actually get to decide, okay, I'm going to do this side, but I'm not going to do the other.
That's great. And how different do we feel? Especially if you're not very mobile. And then you realize, oh, I'm sitting in my chair, but I can still. And then if you do this for a week, who knows, maybe the next week you might be able to lift that arm a little bit higher. It might not feel as stiff. It might not feel as rigid.
They say, and again, when I say they, I do a lot of research and looking at this stuff, but studies are saying that, or they come up and with a number like 8 weeks. If you can for 8 weeks, once a week or twice a week, this isn't even an everyday thing, but incorporate this, then all of a sudden you've empowered yourself. You've given yourself a tool that's going to make it so, you know what? I got this. I got this. And that again is something we all need a little more of, because once we do that, then we're going to realize that almost immediate, we call it somatic relief, after we take those 3 breaths or the 5 breaths, or we take our 5. So again, these are the things that you want to, think about and understand that you don't have to get on the floor. You don't have to stand up. And in my classes, I've got some people that are in wheelchairs, and we just modify. That's just what we do, and it's not a big deal. Walkers. Some people want to stand, some people don't want to stand. And, that's your prerogative. I'm not there to judge you. I'm there to let you invest whatever you're able to invest into the class, and to let you know that was awesome. Because you did something for your wellness that is going to be helpful.
Right. And the body just works better when it likes to move, right?
Yeah, absolutely. The movement piece, we hear it. If with Parkinson's, the one thing that I know, it's just ridiculous how you hear about the changes when someone goes in and they've all of a sudden started doing 3-4 classes a week. And, it's hard. It's hard to get there, but we can start. We can start with one thing. But I've always said, with Parkinson's, you can be in the slow lane or the fast lane. And the slow lane is the one where you're going to give it, you're pushing back. You're not just going to just sit there. The fast lane is, where you're like, well, I just don't want to move. I don't want to, and then all of a sudden the rigidity comes in, and then the bradykinesia. And then all of a sudden these symptoms are getting to a point where it's more challenging. And for me, quality of life, that's huge. That's huge. And if I can reach to get my fork, to me, that's huge. So, it doesn't matter if my hand is shaking or whatever, I can reach for my fork. And those are the things that you want to do the moving for. It's not so you can burn 100 calories or have 1,000 steps on your watch. It's about making sure you maintain your quality of life.
Excellent. Can we do another seated exercise? I don't know.
There's a question up there that can apply to this next exercise.
When exhaling.
Oh, mouth or the nose?
The nose. Typically is the nose. However, if you have high blood pressure, if you're running high, exhale through your mouth. So there's a detoxing component when we inhale and exhale through the nose. We create our own internal heat. As a matter of fact, I tell a lot of my students that when it's cold in the winter, and I'm like, go ahead, use the nose. Do not open your mouth. And it's like it creates its own inner heater inside. And you want the heat. It's very detoxing to breathe that way. Remember, if you do what you can to start off with, and then you start just adding a little bit more. Are you guys ready? Let me see which one we'll do. Have you guys, you want to do a breathing or a movement?
Let's do a movement.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to be working with the right and the left side of the brain. So we're going to do what we call spinal balance. So what I'm going to do is sit up nice and tall. And then you're just going to raise that arm up, right arm, as high as, you're comfortable doing it. And then we're going to pick up this left foot. And we're going to bring that hand and we're going to tap that left knee. And then we're going to inhale, bring it up. So listen to your breath. Exhale. And inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Hold it right here. And guess what? We're going to balance. I want you to take your left arm out and just really press on that right foot and hang here for 10, 9, 8, 7. Are you breathing? 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then gently bring everything back. Take a deep breath in, open the mouth, exhale, let it go. Yes. Now see, the breathing's even gotten a little more audible in here. Let's go ahead. Now we're going to start with the left arm to the right knee. And we're just going to inhale, exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Keep going. Inhale, but we're not in a rush. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Exhale. Seated balance. Take that arm out. And you're just breathing, smiling. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then gently bring everything back.
Nice.
So again, there's stability. We're working on balance. We don't even think that, how can you balance in a chair? We just balanced with a chair. You were effectively using one foot holding. There's a lot going on. So you're doing more than 2 or 3 things at one time. And again, the body's receiving the benefits. And that's what's important. Want to do another one?
I would love to do another one.
Okay. All right. So now we do need to kind of come.
Oh, we need more room.
Yeah. Okay. So what I want you to do here is we're just going to bring those arms out, right? And then we're going to inhale. When we inhale, I want you to push those hands back like there's an imaginary wall behind you that you want to open up. So we're opening up, lift the chin up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to exhale, and I want you to bring those finger pads towards one another. And then again, inhale. And then exhale. And inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, bring those arms out, 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 out. Take a deep breath in, exhale, and then bring those hands down. And now what you're going to do is you're going to take this right arm out. You're going to bring it out as far over to the wall behind you, the imaginary wall behind you. We're also going to look over here. We're going to look over towards that right thumb. And I want you to press both feet firmly so you can feel how the spine lengthens. So this is your inhale. And then we're going to bring that hand across the front of the body, and then we're just going to give ourselves a baby hug. So we're going to baby hug, then we're going to inhale, bring it back, and then exhale, bring it in. Inhale, open. Exhale, bring it in. Inhale, open. Exhale, bring it in. And inhale, open. Now hang here. Look at that thumb. Spread those fingers for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to bring that hand back to that shoulder. We're going to give ourselves a nice hug, but this time it's going to be for 10 to the count of 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. Now it's the left hand's turn. So take that left hand, look back towards that thumb. Take an inhale, and then exhale, bring that hand towards that shoulder. Baby hug. Inhale, open. Exhale, bring it in. Inhale, open. Exhale, bring it in. Inhale, open. Exhale, bring it in. And again, inhale, open. Hold it here. Spread those fingers. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here comes that more than a baby hug. You're just going to bring it here and breathe for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release.
Yeah, people don't realize that can actually work sitting in a chair.
And finding that fluid movement is just amazing. And add music to it, and you're just having a ball.
I did this when my mother, she was in her 90s and she was in a wheelchair and she had some memory problems as well. There wasn't a whole lot she could do. She really wasn't interested in participating in a lot. But I was sit in front of her in her wheelchair and I'd say, okay, fine. And she would mimic everything I did.
Mm.
And that was like, it was an activity. It was an interaction. And, when sometimes it's hard to come up with things to even talk about when their memory gets really poor and it's really hard to have a conversation, or you get caught in those loops.
But there's imaging when you've got individuals who have the challenges of memory and processing things. The one thing is that there's mirroring that can happen. And when you're doing what you were doing with your mom, when you're sitting in front of someone, maybe the verbal isn't being processed, but the image is, so they can replicate what you're doing. And that's where, it's beneficial for individuals who may have cognitive challenges.
Oh, definitely. Yes. That was great. Thank you.
Anything else?
I think it's time for question and answers.
Is it?
Right?
All right.
Yeah, already. We got about
Really?
15 minutes till, right?
Yeah, there was that relaxation too.
Yeah.
There is one thing I just entertain you here for just a moment. One of the things that is huge, and there's lots of research that's being done specific for people with cognitive challenges and big time for Parkinson's, is body scan meditations. And it's huge. So I would just like to invite you to join me here and just sit comfortably. If you want to close your eyes, you close your eyes. And just allow your inner eye to turn on when you need to. Start by tuning into the posture of the body. It is helpful to keep the spine straight and energized while relaxing the muscles around the skeleton. You can use the breath to aid in this process. As you breathe in, breathe energy and awareness into the spine, reaching the spine gently upward. As you exhale, let go. Allow the shoulders to drop. Let there be some slack in the jaw. Soften the belly. And take a few breaths here as you notice the face relaxing. Starting the body scan by tuning into the crown of the head. Simply bring your awareness to the top of the head, tuning into whatever is present for you. Can you feel the skin of the scalp, the temperature of the air on your skin, your hair? There's no right or wrong. Just tune into whatever is physically present. Next, drop down to the forehead and brow, again tuning into whatever is present. You may notice the temperature of the air, some slight scrunching of the brow, or some relaxation. Whatever is present, simply be with it. Drop down into the eyes and cheekbones, even with eyes closed. You may notice some movement in the eyes. Continue down to the tip of your nose and upper lip. Here you can feel the body breathing gently and naturally. You may notice the air tickling on its way in and coming out just a little bit warmer. Move on into the mouth, looking at the lips, the jaw, and the tongue. You may notice the moisture, how the tongue is resting, any tension or slack in the jaw, or whatever it is that is present. Take an inhale. Take an exhale. Drop down into the neck and throat, noticing any tension or any movement of the body with the breath. Remember, there is nothing you should be experiencing. There is no right or wrong. Just tune into the direct physical experience. Let go of the judgments and thoughts and return to the actual physical body. You can move out to the tops of the shoulders and into the shoulder blades, perhaps noticing any movement with the breath or the sensation of the clothes on your body. Dropping down into the upper arms and elbows. Again, just tune into whatever is present in your experience. Moving into the hands, go over the palms, the fingers, and the back of the hand. Notice any points of contact where the hands may be touching each other or resting in your lap. You may notice that the temperature of the air feels different on the back of the hand than it does on the palm. Come back up into the chest and rest here for a moment, tuning into the body breathing. As you drop down into the abdomen and stomach, again, you may notice the sensations of the body breathing. Rest your awareness with the body and just stick with whatever sensations arise. Drop down into the hips, the pelvis, your legs. You can probably feel the point of contact where the body meets the chair or cushion, and taking a moment just to feel these sensations. Move on into the thighs and knees, noticing any points of contact, any tensions, the clothes on your body, and anything else present in your direct experience. Drop into the calves, the shins, and ankles, seeing what's present for you. Perhaps there is some ease or some jittery or anxious feeling in the legs. Whatever is present, be with it. Finally, move into the feet, going over the heel, the arch, the ball of the foot, the toes, and the top of the foot. Tune into the points of contact where the feet are touching the ground or tucked underneath you. Take a moment here at the end to tune into the whole body together, from head to toe. You may be able to feel the breath energy as it moves through your body. You get a sense of the entire outline or posture of the body as it rests here. Take a deep breath in, slow breath out, and gently allow yourself to come back into the room and simply lift your eyelids. This type of meditation is one that is used a lot and has been used a lot in studies for individuals with cognitive challenges and Parkinson's more specifically. And it is the offering us interoception, that connection with the body, the proprioception, understanding that I am connected to all these different parts. And all of a sudden, it's not just one arm or just my feet that are taking me wherever I go, but it's an entire body. And it has, I call it a nourishing type of impact on the body and the brain, because during those 3 minutes, you were in your body.
Well, I just have a question for you. So a lot of our patients have difficulty to sleep or getting to sleep at night. Is there a version of this that can be used to relax for sleep?
Some people will use this. Some people, we have access, well, depending upon, if you have an iPhone or not, you can get the apps like Calm and Headspace, thank you. But there are so many things on YouTube that you can just pull it up and just listen to which one resonates with you. I will tell you, meditation is something very personal. And for relaxation purposes, I want to tell you, this is what my Parkies have shared with me. And that's that something as simple as petting their fur babies. That is meditative. That is healing. Something as simple as listening to sounds of the ocean, looking at flowers. You can be meditating and doing your own version of gardening. So there's so many different things, but the sleep specifically, that is one of the best things. I utilize this to sleep because I think I get down to my hips and then I'm asleep because I don't ever remember getting to my toes. So it is a nice way for you to obviously just disconnect and get ready to take your little sleep.
I know for me, that definitely made me sleepy.
Okay. Are there questions? Or do you have questions?
Yeah, so if there is anybody now that has any questions for our guest speakers, you're more than welcome to come off mute and ask verbally, or you can also put it in the chat and we can speak it for you. If not, that's okay as well. But now is your time. We'll give you a couple minutes if you have to put it in the chat once again, or you can just come off mute.
I have a question.
Oh, somebody's. Oh, here's.
This one.
Yeah, here.
Go ahead.
Is she muted?
Or would somebody like to come off mute?
I think well, her picture showed up, but I don't know.
Okay, maybe not.
Okay.
You go ahead.
I have a question. And maybe you covered this in the first few minutes, which I missed, and if so, I apologize. Where can we take your class?
Okay, the Parkinson's Association of the Carolinas offers free yoga classes for Parkinson's and their caregivers. And these classes are available in Belmont, in Rock Hill, Fort Mill. In the Charlotte area, we have a class at Southminster, and we also have a class at the JCC. So these classes are free for you to join at any time. You can go onto their website, or you can just reach out to me. Send me your email and I'll respond and let you know. I can send you like a flyer or something.
And they can go on the Parkinson's Association website and
Yes.
get the schedule as well.
Yes.
Okay.
And
That is linked on our website. If anyone is looking for it, if you go on our website under events at the top, go to community calendar, and there's a link there to the association's calendar.
And they do have to register, and when the class is full, then
Yes,
it can fill up.
it can fill up. You can usually, and I'm your direct contact. We have a limit of 15 per class. And we're pretty much right around the 11 or 12. We welcome you. I have a hard time saying that I'm going to tell you that our class is full if you forgot to reach out to me. So sometimes there are exceptions. However, just reach out to me and then we can plan accordingly and, join us. And I think that you'll find that it's interesting what you learn going to these classes. My Parkies and my caregivers and my seniors, they are my teachers. That's who I'm learning from.
Do you need to be a member of the JCC or live at Southminster? Or anything?
Nope.
Okay.
They're community classes, so you can come in, and there are 2 Saturday classes a month. And you will see that as well. So if getting there during the week is a challenge, you've got those options.
And then in general, for our other families who don't have a Parkinson's diagnosis, chair yoga is you have to search, but I mean, there's some online classes.
Yes, there are online classes that you can look up that are specific to seniors, and they're chair classes. So you can kind of pick and choose what you want. If today all you want to do is work on your hands and your feet because your arthritis is flaring up, that's a great thing. Just focus on your hands and your feet.
So you can just search a class that have that focus.
Yes.
Okay.
And those are often virtual, correct?
I think some of them are on YouTube. Probably.
Some of them are on YouTube, yes.
And I think probably some of them are free to start out, and then maybe, then there's probably a charge or something if you want to continue. I'm not sure.
In August, we will be, we take the summer off I take the summer off for Zoom classes, but in August we'll start again, and it's once a week. Depending on the demand, I would love to see more participation. The reason that, we took it off for the summer is because our participation was so slow. I want to remarket the class and see if we can get more people coming.
Nice.
And that's you hit a button and you come into my yoga room at my home, and we work on, all kinds of things.
Wonderful.
I'm wondering, for the people who have joined us virtually, how was this virtually? Were you able to follow along?
Oh, they're talking, but there, no.
I was able to follow, and I enjoyed it very much. Yeah. Got a lot
Thank
out.
you. We're glad you joined us. Thank you. Good. Good to know.
Yeah, it's good. It's more accessible, for the people that can't, navigate or can't travel. I mean, this is an accessible option. That's one of the beauties of technology nowadays, is that we can do these type of things. But was there any other questions before we go ahead and exit for this month's Take Charge Live?
No, but thank you so much for offering it.
Thank you, Aminta,
Yes,
for being
thank you.
here.
Yes. Thank you, Aminta. Thank you, Chris, for giving us a great hosting experience of this. And just stay tuned next month. We will announce the next topic soon. So just be looking out on the social media, the website. We will announce that in the coming week. Okay?
Thanks.
Yeah, of course. I hope you guys have a great evening. And that is all.
Okay.
Okay.